Hey friends, we just got these set booster exclusive cards from March of the Machines. These are cards you can only find in set boosters of March of the Machines. They are not standard legal, but they are eternal legal in formats such as Commander. So we're going to take a look at all of them, and I'm going to give my first impressions of all these cards and where I think they're going to see the most play in. But before we begin, two quick reminders. First, if you want to purchase these March of the Machines cards or any Magic the Gathering products, you can head on over to our sponsor, cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish, and be sure to ask for a scoop sticker in the order notes. And number two, be sure to like and subscribe to never miss a video as it comes out. So we begin these set booster cards with a splash with Begin the Invasion. This is a new 5-color sorcery. It's Wooburg plus X to cast. And it says search your library for up to X battle cards with different names, put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So this is a very splashy effect that really needs to have at least 2 or 3 or more battles in your deck to be really good. If you're getting one battle out of it, it's not good. However, if you're getting like 2 or more battles, it suddenly becomes pretty mana efficient. Like a battle could be anywhere between 2 to like 5 mana. So if you're putting like 2 5-mana battles on the battlefield, this is very mana efficient. So this card is basically just good for the battle archetype in Commander, which isn't really a thing, at least not yet. This is a card that probably is going to be more powerful the more battles we get in the future. And Wizards of the Coast did say that they're leaving the door open for more battle cards in the future. And honestly, I think they will be printing them. And they probably have a few more that are going to be coming up in the new sets. Lord of the Rings probably makes sense for more battle cards, for example. We don't really have a 5-color commander yet. However, you could just take any 5-color commander and turn it into a battle deck. For now, until we have one that's like printed specifically for it. For example, Omnath Locus of All, Kenrith the Return King, and Ramos Dragon Engine are all likely candidates for a battle deck if you so choose to build one. It doesn't seem too appealing right now because most battle cards kind of have a very specific deck they want to go into, a very specific archetype. Each one goes into a specific archetype and they don't really kind of mesh well together. However, if you really do want to just mash them all together, Omnath Locus of All, Kenrith, or Ramos are all likely candidates for it. Moving on, we have a new staple, in my opinion, for go wide white decks. This is Firemane Commando. This is a white 4-mana 4/3 creature angel soldier with flying, and whenever you attack with 2 or more creatures, draw a card, and whenever another player attacks with 2 or more creatures, they draw a card if none of those creatures attacked you. So this is a fantastic card, in my opinion, for white creature-focused decks, which is most of them. It's very easy to attack with 2 or more creatures, especially if you have like any sort of evasion. Firemane Commando itself has flying, so it itself can help trigger this incremental card draw, which is very efficient at doing so. And I really like the secondary ability of kind of indirectly focusing people to attack your opponents. Not only does it deter people from attacking you, but it also encourages them to attack your opponents when they otherwise wouldn't. So yes, you are helping your opponents. It's kind of like group huggy in a way, but I view it kind of like curses, where you curse an opponent and yeah, you're giving them resources, but you're going to be gaining resources as well. You're drawing cards off of it, and while you're also giving your opponents card draw, you're also kind of forcing them to attack each other, which is, I think, awesome. So I think this card is really good. It's going to be like a sleeper good on the battlefield, I assume, because it's going to be helping your opponents, so they're not going to see how efficient it is at helping you, both in terms of dealing damage to your opponents and preventing damage to you, and also just drawing you cards slowly but surely. So this card is just like very fair, but also just really sweet. I expect to run this card a lot in my decks. Moving on, we have Infernal Sovereign, which is a very splashy new black card. It's a 6-mana black 6/6 creature demon, flying trample, skip your draw step. Whenever you play a land or cast a spell, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. So this is kind of like a callback to Necropotence, where you're skipping your draw step, but in return, you get to draw a ton of cards at the measly cost of losing life. So playing lands, drawing cards off playing lands is something you don't really see ever, I think, in Mono Black, which is kind of a new step. It's also a 6/6 flying trample demon, so it's also smashing people in the face and also protecting your life total by just being a very good good blocker. I don't know how good this card is going to end up being. I'm sure there are combos with it where you could like just, loop casting a spell over and over again to draw through your deck. However, the life loss does add up, so that is a stopgap to just like drawing your entire deck very efficiently. And I assume there are more efficient ways to drawing your entire deck than the Sovereign. So I'm not sure where this deck is going to be seeing the most play in. I think it's going to be a shoe-in, obviously, in like demon tribal decks. It's just splashy. It's a big demon. It draws a ton of cards. That's really, really fun. If there's any way to offset the life loss in your deck, then it's just going to be really good too. I think it's going to be very good in Selenia decks, like life swap decks, for example, where you're drawing cards and lifeless is actually part of the game plan. So this card is very sweet. It's very niche, but in the decks that really want it, it's going to be really sweet and fun. Moving on, we have a new cycle of these talents. These are enchantment auras that enchant a planeswalker, give the planeswalker a new loyalty ability, and then a passive ability as well. So there's one for each mono color, and the first one is Elspeth's Talent. This is a 4-mana white enchantment aura, enchant planeswalker. Enchanted planeswalker has +1 loyalty ability, create 3 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. So it's a great way to up the loyalty of your planeswalker, and also providing chump blockers for your planeswalkers as well to protect them. And then whenever you activate a loyalty ability of the enchanted planeswalker, creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain vigilance until end of turn. So these both complement each other. You make soldier creature tokens, and then whenever you activate your planeswalker's abilities, they become basically 3/3s with vigilance. And if you have more creatures on the battlefield, this just keeps getting better and better. So this is a great way to protect your planeswalkers, and also just a great way to pump your team afterwards and actually like start swinging for lethal while also protecting your board. So this card is fantastic. I think all the talents are basically going to be shoe-ins for Super Friends decks, and I don't really see them seeing that much play outside of Super Friends, but these are all just very sweet and cool in Super Friends decks. Moving on to the blue one, this is Teferi's Talent, and this is arguably the strongest in my opinion. This is a 5-mana blue enchantment aura, enchant planeswalker. Enchanted planeswalker has -12 loyalty ability. You get an emblem with, you may activate loyalty abilities of planeswalkers you control on any player's turn anytime you could cast an instant. And whenever you draw a card, put a loyalty counter on enchanted planeswalker. So the real power of this enchantment is the passive ability. Drawing a card, put a loyalty counter on enchanted planeswalker. There's so many ways to just draw like 7+ cards in a turn. So you can immediately ultimate your planeswalker either with whatever sweet planeswalker ultimate that they already have, or just a new one that you give it the -12 from this enchantment aura. So any deck that is like blue focus should be able to draw like 7+ cards in a turn. Yeah, it's just like a windfall effect, for example, is going to do it, or any just like draw 5 or whatever in blue. It's pretty easy to do this. So yeah, this card seems really strong in Super Friends. It's very easy to ultimate either with this -12 or just whatever sweet ultimate your planeswalker currently has. This card is gas. Moving on, we have Liliana's Talent. This is double black, so it's the cheapest one of the cycle. Enchantment aura, enchant planeswalker. Enchanted planeswalker has -8. Put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. So this is just Rise of the Dark Realms. It's a big finisher. And whenever a creature deals damage to enchanted planeswalker, destroy that creature. So it doesn't prevent them from hitting you, but it will be a good deterrent because the creature will die in response. So that's cool. It's a nice way of protecting the planeswalker, kind of, and the ultimate is very powerful, and it's the cheapest one, so that's also pretty relevant as well. Next, we have Rowan's Talent. This is a 4-mana red enchantment aura. Enchant planeswalker. Enchanted planeswalker has +1 loyalty ability. Up to 1 target creature gets +2/+0 and gains first strike and trample until end of turn. And whenever you activate a loyalty ability of enchanted planeswalker, copy that ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. I love this passive ability. Doubling my loyalty abilities is just super sweet. The new loyalty ability on it +2/+0 and gains first strike and trample until end of turn. That's great for offensive plays. It doesn't do too much to protect your planeswalkers, so I don't know how good this one is actually going to be in the decks that actually want to run Rowan's Talent, which again I think is going to be Super Friends, but the passive ability is just so good. Just like doubling up on your planeswalker abilities is just so powerful. So this card is super sweet. And then finally, the last one of the cycle, it's Vivien's Talent. This is the green one. It's 3 mana, enchantment, aura, enchant planeswalker. Enchanted planeswalker has +1 loyalty ability. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or lane card from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a loyalty counter on enchanted planeswalker. So this card is like super good in decks that probably don't want to be running Vivien's Talent. Like, the Vivien Planeswalkers are great to be peppered into creature-focused decks. Like, they all care about creatures, and some of them, like, do card advantage. Like, this +1 ability is off the War of the Spark Vivien, I believe. And they're great. They're great in creature-focused decks because you could just slam them into your creature-focused decks. You have, like, 3 Planeswalkers or 4 Planeswalkers maximum, and the rest are all creatures, and that's super cool. But then, if you are in a creature-focused deck, then running this Vivien's Talent is kind of inconsistent because you still need to find one of your few planeswalkers to enchant this with. And if you have a lot of planeswalkers, well, guess what? The +1 ability is not very good. The passive ability is not very good, I don't think. So I could be wrong. There might be a home for this, but it seems like it's a non-bow with the decks that actually want to be running stuff that enhances planeswalkers. Could be wrong. Let me know in the comment section where you would put Vivien's Talent. And that's it for the Set Booster exclusive cards. It's only 8 ones this time. Very different from the 36 or so that we did last video. So keeping it short and sweet here. So yeah, let me know what you think about these new Set Booster cards. Let me know what you think about the set in general. What are you going to be putting into your Commander decks? Let me know all of that in the comment section below. Next week, we're going to be doing a lot of March of the Machine content showing what the new cards can do. I'm also going to be doing pre-con upgrades for all 5 of the Commander pre-con decks. We're going to be doing a top 10 list of our favorite cards from the set. We're going to be doing a tier list on the battle cards. It's going to be all super sweet. So I can't wait to dive into the set really nice and proper and actually using these cards in our Commander decks. So hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you like it. And until next time, friends. See ya!